Hello everyone, Hamer here. This video is about advanced objection handling. So a little bit of background to this. Eric Knowles, American professor and author of the book Resistance in Persuasion, identified three different kinds of resistance to sales and persuasion. That's reactance, skepticism, and inertia. Now, these are outside the scope of this video. I will be doing a separate video to cover these. The one we're going to deal with is skepticism. And what skepticism is saying is that, well, I don't believe it will work. I know it makes sense on the surface, all the figures stack up and it looks good, but there's something inside, it just doesn't feel right. And this is the kind of moment when you're going to get objections like, I need to talk it over with my wife. I need to think it over. I haven't got the time, and things like that. As I'm sure many of you have heard, it can be so frustrating to get to the end of a sale and your pitch has been perfect all the way through, and your customers have agreed to you and they say, oh, I need to chat it over with my wife. Well, that's where skepticism is coming through. They may not even be consciously aware of what it is that they're objecting to, but something doesn't feel quite right below, in the gut, below the level of consciousness. So what we've been doing here is we're inoculating our clients against this by actually pre-framing these kinds of objections in advance. And the way we're doing that is by using third-party quotes and stories, and a term from neuro-linguistic programming called opening loops. And what that does is you start off with a little story, you open a loop, an anticipation loop, and then you segue into the next story before you've closed the anticipation loop. And what that does is it distracts the subject's attention so that they're hanging on to the loop that you left open, and while they're thinking about that, you're able to embed suggestions in it and below the level of consciousness. They say that by the time you get into the third loop, that it's pretty well impossible for anyone to consciously resist the suggestions that you're putting in. So watch this video and see if you can unpick it and see what I've done. I hope you enjoy. Here's a list of the objections that we're pre-framing. I can't sell. My customers can't afford it. My customers won't believe me. This is where I used your example last week for pre-framing someone's objection about spending money there. So if you read it, it says, I really hate asking people for money. It's always been a bit of a taboo subject in my family. It caused so many arguments. Whilst I was thinking about that earlier, it reminded me of a conversation I had last week with Anna about money. And something she said was very profound. And I remember when I was with David Snyder on CPI4 training, and he said, you're no good to anyone else broke. So my best advice to you is to make sure you get paid. I told him I'm not a good salesperson. And he said, you don't need to be a good salesperson. You just need to be a good coach or a good mentor. And I said, my customers don't have any money. And he said, yes, they do for the things they want. And I said, my customers are smart and they won't believe me. To which he replied, yes, they are very smart. And being intelligent only makes them want it more. And what he said next was so profound, it completely changed the way I look at the sales process. He said,
When you stop selling and start giving people the opportunity to get what they really want, they will buy for you naturally as default, because it just naturally feels like the right thing to do. And when they're saying no to you, they're not really saying no to you, they're saying no to themselves. And Anna told me about her ex-boyfriend, who was a comedian, and he noticed how he could never get people to stop looking at their mobile phones and talking over him and refusing to pay attention unless they paid for the event. It didn't really seem to matter, even if it was just a few pennies. It just committed them to the process of enjoying this show and having fun. Suddenly I realised that by giving away what I value for free, I was devaluing myself. People tend to automatically put a higher value on experiences they paid for than the ones they get for free, no matter how small the contribution. And this is what we call an omega strategy. It's designed to lower people's resistance to the persuasion that's going to follow in this. And then I come back and close the loop by telling what you told me with that, and saying, you know, people stop looking at their mobile phones and all that sort of thing if they just committed just a few pennies. And then I suddenly realized that by giving away what I value for free, I was really just devaluing myself.
I hope you've enjoyed watching this video and found it useful. Please don't forget to click on the like button and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this. If I can be of help to you or your organisation in any way, or even if you're just curious and would like to take a deeper dive into the world of influence and persuasion, please feel free to reach out to me. For general inquiries, use my email address at giles.hayes@me.com. And for my mastermind and mentoring program, you can find me on patreon.com/HamerHayes. Thank you very much for watching this video, and wherever you are, whatever time of day it is, day or night, enjoy the rest of it, and we'll see you soon.